Welcome back to another episode of the No Horsing Around podcast. We're going to talk about the big thing that happened today, obviously. A little snippet of the interview with Shaq Leonard, what he had to say, what we think. We're going to take a listen to it, all that and more today on today's episode. Colts Nation, and shout out to the No Horsing family. Welcome back to another episode. As always, I am one of two dudes talking Colts. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. And on today's episode, we're going to delve in, is Shaq Leonard unhappy? Obviously, today we had some availability with the media. Shaq Leonard was able to talk a little bit about what's going on. We all know kind of what's happened. You know, he had the surgery last year. He had another surgery this offseason. Last year, he missed pretty much the entirety of the season. It's this weird back issue that causes these misfirings where he doesn't feel completely like himself, right? Like that's what we've heard. He doesn't feel completely like himself. He's been gauging back and forth. He's been kind of coming back on throughout the season. And really, they were looking at November is when he was going to really gear up. And it's not, I mean, I think it looks like he's gotten better every week. But let's look and see what he has to say with this, right? So let's take a listen and see what he has to say.
We know that November was kind of the date for you. Well, here we are in November. Do you think that the time is finally here?
Me personally, I think so. I mean, for myself, but I don't think they, think that. I think it's probably gonna be similar, maybe even worse. So I'm just going to go out and just play as many plays as I can play, and then just go from there.
Is it something where you feel like you can maybe prove some things to them out there on the field this month?
I just feel like each week I prove who I am. I feel like the way that I play the game was getting better and better each week. But they say I don't make enough splash plays, so I guess I'll still be watching for a little bit.
So how collaborative is that process? Like going to a game, how many plays you're probably gonna get, or is it you might not know?
Yeah, I kind of know a little bit. They'll tell me if I'm gonna split wrestle EJ on first and second. I know I'm not in on third down, so kind of know exactly what it is. If I like it or not, it is what it is.
So what do we think? Several different things, right? Several different things that were said during that availability. One, does he feel like he's ready? Yes. Two, does he think the team thinks he's ready? No. In fact, he thinks he's going to be very similar to the way he's been before. I think one of the most telling things was kind of seeing his face and hearing him talk about they don't feel like I'm making enough splash plays. So we're still going to be sitting. He's not going to be playing on third downs. We know Shaq is known for the splash play, the punch out, the interception, the fumble recovery, like big momentum shifting things. So if you watch that video, does Shaq seem unhappy? Yes. And I've seen a lot of different tweets at this point saying, well, he's not going to be a Colt next year now, or maybe he's gone at the end of the year, or, you've heard a lot of like evaluation. Here's my thing when it comes to Shaq Leonard, and you guys can agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know in the comments what you think in general, or if you disagree with me or you agree with me. I think that outside of the injury portion, the scheme doesn't seem to fit him. We talked about this last year with Gus Bradley. Zaire's had a fantastic season last year. He's on pace right now to have over 200 tackles and become the single season tackle, record holder. But Shaq Leonard was on a different trajectory when he came into the league. Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time first team All-Pro, 1-time second team All-Pro, right? The dude was on pace. I don't think it's a hyperbole to say that he was on pace to be a Hall of Fame linebacker. He gets hurt, it lingers. Scheme King comes in, and he can't find – it feels to me Gus Bradley can't find a way to put him on the field. And that's an issue for me. We talked about it last year. He should be one of your best defensive players. You have to find a way to get him on the field, find a position for him. I know the linebackers have played well. EJ Speed, Zaire, they've all played well. And he's played well too since he's returned. But you have to find a position that allows him to flow And if you're Gus Bradley, you got to figure it out, man. Like, you got to figure it out. Okay, I know this has nothing to do with this, but it's like my nephew plays high school football, right? And he is a middle linebacker, and he is the leading tackler on the team. Has some offers to go play in college, and his last game of the season, they did not play well, and he didn't play much because he got hurt. And to a man, the defensive said, we have to figure out a way to get him on the field, revolve the defense so we can play off of him. It's much smaller, but at the same time, like this is the defensive leader on the team. Find a way to put him in there. He does seem very, very unhappy, but I think also it's one of those things too, as a coach and as a team, you have to look out for the best interest of the player, even if sometimes the player's not looking out for the best interest of himself. Maybe he's not fully ready. We are just now getting into November when it was really going to ramp. I'm interested to see what comes of this. He's a needed player. I know he's making a lot of money, and a lot of people are going to point to that and say, well, you can get rid of him. I just don't think that's the route. But as far as is he unhappy, he seems very unhappy right now. So find a way to get one of your best players on the field. As always, you guys, like, share, subscribe. Let me hear you guys. Drop a comment. Make sure you've joined the family. Make sure you've done all those great things. And as always, I love you. I know Zach loves you. And deep down, 99% of the time, Shaq loves you. I'm out.